This video will assist in training you to fill a volunteer role at Paddle Victoria Marathon events. We would like to thank you for volunteering your time. PV Marathon believes that safe and efficient management of events requires officials and volunteers to have trained in advance for the roles that they fill in events. Both race officials and volunteers are important to the successful running of events. The distinction for our purposes is that officials are the designated positions on the competition committee, the safety officer and technical officer roles, while volunteers fill other roles essential to the operation of events. These are listed in the organisation chart.
Radio communication is vital during a race to ensure the safety of paddlers and volunteers. Radios are used by race officials and volunteers, the chief official, chief umpire, chief safety officer, turnboy and portage officials, timekeeping and safety boat crews. Different types of radios may be used at different events. The operation of radios will be demonstrated at the volunteer briefings. You will also do a radio check, where you switch on the radio, check the battery is charged, ensure that you are on the right channel, this is usually Paddlevic channel 1, test each radio and set the volumes. If you're in a safety boat, ensure that the waterproof bags are used and that the volume is loud enough to be heard over the noise of the motor. There are various buttons on the radios. On the top, there is a dial that you can use to change between channels. We are usually on channel 1. On the side, there is an orange and black transmit button. Click the button and pause before you begin to talk to ensure that you are transmitting. The on and off button is on the side, and so are the volume up and down buttons marked with a plus and a minus.
When using the two-way radios, please remember that everyone is listening. Be polite and do not swear. Ensure that you are on the correct channel. This is usually Paddle Victoria Channel 1. Think about what has to be said before speaking. Listen before transmitting so as to not interfere with others already on the air. Keep your messages short and clear as possible. Use short, easily recognisable words. Check for understanding and request confirmation if necessary. When calling another station, state the call sign of the other station first and then identify yourself. For example, Chief Official, this is Safety Boat 1, over. If you are receiving a message, you then respond, Safety Boat 1, this is Chief Official, over. You always first communicate who you are speaking to and then your own name. This grabs the attention of the person who you are speaking to and then tells them who the message is coming from. After this initial communication, you can then communicate your message. It is acceptable practice after initial contact has been made to not repeat your own call sign except for in the closing transmission. For example, Safety Boat 1, this is Chief Official, out.
The role of the aligner is to align boats in preparation for each start. They report to the starter. This is a part-time role on race day, taking typically about 30 minutes. They have the responsibility to bring the boats to the starting line with the least possible delay. It is important that the aligner understands the type of start being used for the event, whether that's stationary, grid, Le Mans, rolling, or interval start. They should obtain a copy of the start order sheet and understand the number of starts and number of boats scheduled to be in each start. They should check the correct number and type of boats are ready for each start. They may liaise with the raft marshal and starter as required. In conjunction with the starter, decide if a start should be delayed where there are missing or late boats and they are making their way to the alignment area, or if the start should proceed without delay. When ready, announce to paddlers that you are passing control of the boats to the starter by saying, "I am now handing you over to the starter." The role of the starter is to start the race. They report to the chief course umpire. This is a part-time role on race day, taking typically about 30 minutes. The starter has the responsibility, in conjunction with the competition committee and competition manager, to decide on the appropriate method for starting the event. They should carry out the start in accordance with the Canoe Marathon rules. They should decide all questions concerning the start of the races, including decisions as to false starts. They should conduct starts that are fair to all competitors and start the races on time. The start command for marathon races is "Ready, go." Before the race, identify if any competitors require different assistance, such as visual signals for hearing impaired competitors. Before the start, communicate what the false start signal is, such as 2 short blasts in quick succession on a whistle, hooter, or air horn. Ensure that the starting line is clearly marked. Peter will now demonstrate starting a race.
Moving up. Move forward 902. Move forward 902. Ready, go!
On behalf of Paddle Victoria Marathon, we would like to thank you for volunteering to help run this race. Without volunteers, our races would not be possible.